All right,
Are you
Stephen.
recording?
Yes.
Recording?
What
Do
just
it, Tom.
happened?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll
All
do
right.
it, Tom. So, I want to come out right now and kind of apologize to everybody. We've been pumping our biggest guest, our biggest get yet on the show, and we actually went so far as to start the call to start record right now. The person came on; they were fantastic, and within a couple of minutes of getting settled, we were actually shut down. Corporate policy came into play, and
it wasn't because Steve asked a ridiculous question.
It was nothing.
There was no questions had been asked.
We didn't even really get going, but I'm disappointed. So that's why I want to kind of have a message out. And we were there. We were, in my opinion, probably with someone who is, I want to say, top 5 biggest names in Canadian housing right now. And we unexpectedly, got sidebarred. They were extremely apologetic. But when you deal with very large entities that want to protect certain messaging, I'm sure they have policies, let's say.
I think it was also a good learning lesson for us because we've never had that happen. Like, we've got on a lot of guests that we think are very, very well known, but obviously no one maybe on this level. And they were right here. They were in the middle of us, Steve. we were talking, but I didn't hit record yet because we got shut down. But I will say, like, we're going to keep trying. Even if we can't get this specific person back, we want to give our viewership the absolute best experience with this podcast. And we know that you guys, like our friends in real estate, you like the economists that we brought on, you like all the other people that have been on the show, but sometimes maybe it just doesn't work out. And we're going to keep trying to get great people and make this show interesting. And we just wanted to record this because it's just happened. And just apologize because
literally we were talking to this person 3 minutes ago and I was like, Tom, hit record. What are we going to do? I just don't want to feel like all those guys were hyping something that was, never going to happen or whatever. And I don't feel comfortable releasing the organization or even the name that we had. I just don't want to, because it was not
their fault.
I would say more of a misunderstanding, or maybe we flew under the radar a little bit until, I guess we're definitely not a big news network. So we,
Steve, thinking about it though, if I showed up and I saw your face,
me,
and then I took a quick look over and looked at my face, I'd think, how do I get out of this situation?
Yeah.
So, but no, that's not what happened. The person was amazing and they apologized many, many times and it had nothing to do with them. But sometimes there are just things out of our control. Where are we going to put this out? Are we going to put this at the beginning of an episode? Is it just going to be a little video to tell people what's going on so that they don't get disappointed when they don't see this episode? What do you think?
I think what I'll do is I will probably release this midweek. Put it as a bonus video and just let it be an explanation. Because we were hyping things. We also, it's to a benefit of us, I guess. I got a vacation coming up, so we have some amazing guests also lined up already that are going out. Actually, I want to say yesterday, Tom, this is such a salesperson thing to do. Yesterday, or was it this morning?
Steve, don't jinx us again that we've booked another big guest.
Booked someone who's, I would say, going to be much more okay with this medium. And
I would actually argue, Steve, to our audience, maybe not more well known, but like not too far away.
Oh, I would hope more well known than us.
You think more well known? No, not than us. No. For our audience, no, not than us. That's
you mean like than the person we were just talking to?
You're not too far away.
Yeah, probably.
For the internet.
Definitely for the internet. For the internet. And for yeah. So I don't know. There's some. I don't know. I'm disappointed. I thought we were there, Tom.
You're like a dad, eh? You're not mad. You're just disappointed. Is that the feeling right now?
I'm just. it's just frustrating because this is something I was working on. Originally, I was working on it as a complete surprise to you, and it lets you down. But
Well, you know what?
I just feel like I don't want to. I didn't want to go this far and get that hype and then not have some sort of follow through. And we dropped. I don't know if we dropped the ball on this one or if it's, in my estimation, I just think there are some, like I said, I want to say organizations or whatever that are just, they're not on board with really the messaging that we put out. And realistically,
is it the messaging we put out or is it the platform that we put it out on?
maybe
I don't think our messaging is controversial at all. I really don't.
No, but it's just for instance, I've reached out to a couple of companies that I think are actually really good sponsors, good fits. For instance, somebody like certain developers would be fantastic fits for advertising on a podcast like this one, right? Like if you get a multi-city developer that wanted to reach people and pre-construction type stuff or whatever, why wouldn't you reach out to an audience that listens to real estate topics every single week? But maybe you let the occasional swear word go, or you're not a big name media outlet and it's not safe, right?
It's kind of the only thing that kind of makes me laugh is when very, very well-known people do interviews on very big media networks, it gets posted to YouTube immediately and likely gets more views on the YouTube video than it does when it was live on whatever channel that they're on. It's very similar to like late night TV, right? Like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, that kind. Those clips get hundreds of millions.
So if you're gonna be on the CBC right now, who gets to be on YouTube? Views? CBC YouTube or whatnot, right?
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Disappointment, my friend. Disappointment. Should we do a very quick recap of the market here, just so we can, since we're here. What are we? A couple minutes into this?
Yeah, I think we should. I think that the first, I don't know, let's call it 4 or 5 weeks of January. It's funny, like, I don't know if I want to say I'm surprised, because don't we just say we're surprised every single year when this exact same thing happens and we forget that this is how the year always starts with no inventory? Last year, not really, but we just come off all the rate hikes. This has happened this happened in 2021. Strong start to the year.
I was just crunching numbers for a video and I don't know, man. 2021 was off the charts.
Okay, well,
2021.
I don't mean the level of activity is not the same as 2021, right? And you could argue in some specific asset classes, the prices aren't even the same as 2021. But it's certainly, for how slow things were at the end of 2023, it's so weird. And we talked about this. Well, I don't know when that episode's coming out, but with Devel, we talked about the fact, like, what's the difference between...
We will release this after the Devel episode.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the difference from going from November to December, then going from December to January? It's just 1 month. It's just 1 day. It's just 24 hours. The new year, something clicks in and everything somehow changes and people like homes again. And there is actually one thing that I should acknowledge. So if you follow social media in the Toronto market, Steve, you might have even seen this in your neck of the woods. There was a house just outside Toronto that got like 85 offers. Did you hear about this?
I did not hear about this.
So it was a semi-detached house. I looked up the listing agent. I actually know him. He's a really nice guy. And I don't think he did this to piss a bunch of people off or anything, right? Like, I think he would have been very shocked at how many offers came in. I think he maybe would have thought, if he took this strategy, like maybe 5, maybe 10 offers and then 80 show up, and probably 75 of them were at prices that they were never going to take, and they just waste everybody's time. So I fully always understand why people hate this, especially when it gets to this silliness. Sold 250 grand over asking. I've seen so many real estate agents post about this and either kind of like shame the seller and the agent for doing this, or say, oh, if it was me, I would have never done this. I would have never.
How far off of market do you think it was listed?
25% low.
Oh, wow. That's a lot, man.
And some people are saying, hey, I actually think they sold for more than they should have got if they had listed at a real price. And then a lot of people have said, well, you know, they got what it was worth, but just wasted 84 people's time. And all that is true.
Where do you think, though? Like, do you think it achieved just market, or do you think it achieved more than market?
I think it got a little bit better than they would have if they just listed at a higher price. I do. I think
so
a little bit.
Interesting thing happened. I did an evaluation at the beginning of the month, and the listings just hit actually as we record this. And in the meantime, I had what I thought was a slightly high listing.
Okay.
So negotiation room, right? Let's give me 2%. And it's not a high end property. It's what most first time buyers would be expecting to pay right now. And then the week before we hit the market, another one comes up in there, and it was another 10 to 12% higher in list price. Okay. And then it's sold above ask on day one. So now, what did I do last Saturday? I went to my seller's house and I said, well, I don't feel comfortable going in at this price anymore. We got to raise this. I raised the list price $70,000 on
this on the market level.
Now? It just hit right now, so I will have to update you in the future. I will have to update you in the future. And because because I'm taking the stick out of my rear end, Tom Storey, and taking my kids for vacation, I will let you know that
we did it.
Everybody's clapping.
We did it.
I will let you know that we have had to pre-record a couple, because if I take a week off, the good people here at the Tom Storey Show will not get to hear.
I'm gonna replace you as my co-host if you're gone for too long. Now,
Andrew Stevens will step in. He would be
Andrew Stevens would be great. I want to give you just some quick numbers here for wrapping up January for City of Toronto. Not for the Toronto Real Estate Board, because that covers everywhere, but for City of Toronto. Active listings at the end of the month, 5,300. Solds, 1,300. 4.1 months of inventory for the entire city, okay? Freehold only, 1,400 active listings, 452 sold, 3.25 months of inventory. So still, balanced, but pushing towards seller. Condo market, 4,000 active listings, 851 sales, 4.5 months of inventory. Now, at the back half of last year, that condo market got well into the 6s and 7s. What we have yet to see is any specific pocket of the market hold a high inventory level for more than 3 months. And that's why things flip and change and activity comes back. Now, I think the same could be said if we look at what the numbers are going to show for January. We're going to be in a balanced market across the entire city. We'll get to your market in a second. But now my question is, well, are we going to hold at that for a few months and actually maintain this? Or do you think the inventory is going to start punching up again?
Months of inventory? I don't think it will grow.
I think
inventory will grow, but not months of inventory will grow.
Good point. Okay, good point. Because I actually, when I look at the numbers, when we say months of inventory, like it truly is a 30-day representation of the market. Mm-hmm. And it could change so fast. To have a real understanding, you almost need 4, 5, 6 months in a row of stable levels of absorption.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that in either direction.
Think about this, and it's not stable. So I'm looking at the numbers right now for December. So this is a little bit ago now. The Fraser Valley received 885 listings in December. 885.
Is that very low?
Total number of sales, 832.
Okay.
So if there was not already standing inventory, the consumption rate would have been nearly 100%, 96%. So that's actually, I think, now what has caused this frenzy at the beginning of the year, the one that I get called a liar for. But it's caused this frenzy to come into the marketplace. Now, the sales are actually higher, which I just did a video on my channel, and I discovered that, well, actually December is usually higher than January. I didn't think that was the case, so prove me wrong. But so this January is going to be higher in number of sales, but now the listings are starting to come on. So we are creeping up, but we're only at like 4,400 active listings.
And you think it's going to be higher in price as well compared to December?
Yes, prices are going up.
What about compared to November?
But not crazy.
No, I know.
Nuts. Right? Not nuts.
But we've had
offers, and they're going over. They're going multiples. We had a buyer miss out 6 offers the other day. I looked at the property. I was like, that's not underlisted, and it sold for 50 grand over ask unconditional.
Yeah, we're only seeing that type of action in freehold housing in Toronto. That is not coming back to condos yet. Like, you are seeing offer dates in condos at a specific price point, but you're not seeing that level of traction. That's only happening with freehold. And such a big part, more of our market is condo focused than yours. Like, if you look at the core of city of Toronto, like 60% of all the sales that happen are condos. So it's going to influence our market way more than it would with yours. But that price gap is still huge. 9 are done. 9 firm sales before we had our first collapse this year.
Were any of them for condos? Us is actually nice. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So your condo market's moving as well. It's not just the freehold stuff.
If not even better. Like, the freehold, I think, is actually not doing as well. Like, in my neighborhood, I'm looking around, the same stuff's been for sale for 4 or 5 months.
That's a price point thing, though, mostly, I would guess.
Probably.
Right.
But yeah, the townhouses are flying. The condos are flying. The townhouses are, like, I listed something. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. 2 offers first day, over ask. Everybody was happy to get there. And then there's other stuff in the complex that's been sitting on for 3 months, but it's listed $60,000 higher, right? Which there was no sale that was even close to that. So we beat the last sale by 15 grand.
We just signed up a new listing today that had previously been for sale, represented by another real estate agent that had been in the market over 100 days. And I was looking and I was trying to figure out, like, okay, like, why didn't it sell? And you can go to things like, how the marketing was done, but honestly, they did a pretty good job. Like, there was nothing I could point to. Yes, I think maybe the price was a little bit up there, but I think the main thing was just like, they let that thing run, and days on market started building up so fast that any buyer looking at it would be like, there's something wrong with this. I'm going to go check out the new ones instead, even though there's nothing wrong with it. And probably they couldn't negotiated price down, but it just got to the point that's like 100+ days on market, not moving, didn't take it off the market over the break. And my strategy that we're going to go out with it soon. Yes, I do think price is a little bit off and we're going to tweak a few things, but sometimes the difference between selling and not selling is actually very, very small. What you have to do, what changes you have to make, because you have to be tracking the market on a monthly basis to understand what is happening. So I don't know. I'm still just bummed out that we didn't do this interview.
I'm so bummed out, man. I'm so bummed out. Who cares about the market anymore? It's such a squash, man. Especially when they're so nice. They weren't like.
That's the problem. They were so nice and so apologetic
like,
about not being able to do
it. I got bad news. This is not happening right now. What do you do?
You should have seen me and Steve as soon as they hung up and left the call, and it was just a big breath of
I don't know, man. I am definitely the under promise over deliver, and I just want to do that on this podcast as well, right? There are a lot of assholes that comment on our channel, but there are a massive amount of people. Just last week, we hit a new download number on Spotify, and it was 50% higher than our best week ever.
And what's interesting is that's not even a platform we ever really, that was a secondary thought, was putting it on audio.
and videos on Spotify now too. Thanks, Joe Rogan.
But do people that watch on Spotify, do they watch the video?
I don't know.
think so.
The stats aren't great on Spotify compared to like YouTube, but I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed, Tom. We should probably just go. You've got 17,000 listings to go for.
Well,
I had something hit today, and I'm expecting maybe even multiples on it. Who knows?
I think it is interesting though, talking to other agents that I know in my market that are producers, is that everyone right now is going on appointments. I've got 4 seller meetings in the next 5 days, and we signed one up yesterday. We put out a listing yesterday, so maybe actually that's good news that more inventory is coming. Even though I don't believe we have an inventory issue right now. At let me be clear, in this moment in time, in the first month of 2024, because we've got a balanced out market. And Steve, wouldn't it just be nice? Can we just not ramp up from here? Can we just have a calm year? That everyone, we go up 2%, maybe we go down 2%, maybe we end up somewhere in the middle. Can we just not just have a nice year? I don't need these swings. These swings are stressing me out, man.
Yeah, they are.
Good or bad, like let's just be boring for a second. Let's make real estate boring again, Steve. I think that's what we need. I think that's what Canada as a country needs, so that we're not all angry at each other about real estate prices. Let's make it boring. Let's make it easier to access. By the way, there's only this. Let me read you something. Hold on. Give me one sec here.
Oh, we got time, man.
This is proposed like everything else. I know you love taxes, so I wanted to bring this up. This is not just the mayor, by the way. It's a whole bunch of people making decisions. So Toronto Mayor's Executive Committee endorses 10% speculation tax on foreign home buyers. Okay, so this comes into place if it is voted on, which apparently it's going to go through.
Say that again?
Yeah, so let me explain this.
No, just say the beginning again. I'm wallowing in my disappointment here.
Toronto Mayor's Executive Committee endorses 10% speculation tax on foreign home buyers. Okay. So
the banned ones?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They're only banned till the end of this year, Steve. Okay.
Isn't it 2 years already? Oh.
Well, it's been 1 year. End of 2024, it's a sunshine clause or whatever they call it, right? Where it goes down and it opens up again.
So what? They're going to pay 30% now?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this on top of the 25% we already had in Ontario? And now it's, I don't know. I guess we'll learn and see what happens here. But what
does foreign buyer tax matter if you have, what did we have? Another 500,000 PRs in the last half of the year? Like, what does it matter? It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter.
It's why do they introduce more taxes? I don't get it.
By the way, I've been thinking a little bit about my my Gardner and DVP toll, by the way, which is not a tax. It's a toll. My idea. And you know what? I don't care what you say. A lot of the commenters didn't like that idea. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to stick by this. It's not a tax, Steve. You don't pay for it if you don't use it. It would generate. Can I tell you? I was driving on Lakeshore this morning.
It wouldn't generate. It wouldn't generate.
It would generate a lot of money. Yes, it would. I was driving on Lakeshore this morning, and I'm not even complaining about traffic, but I was looking up. I was looking up at the Gardner.
Crumbling.
I'm like,
crumbling
this is
roadway above you.
Scary. Yeah. There's cracks. There's one section as you get closer to the hockey arena that they've painted blue. I'm like, oh, this looks nice. I'm like, no, the blue is just hiding the cracks. We need to get this sorted. We need to get our infrastructure sorted because it's sad, man. You walk around and there's a lot more people on the streets than there was previously. We absolutely have an issue. There's a crisis going on here. And then I was just in Ottawa to start the week. I did a kickoff event for a brokerage, and I told people I was going there, and people were like, "Oh, be careful! Don't walk around downtown." I'm like, "What's wrong with downtown Ottawa?" I had no idea. Man, it's like not safe.
Why? The truckers back?
No, but someone did. No, they're not back. I don't think that would be unsafe. To be clear,
no, man, looked like a party to me.
Not for me, at least.
Tub.
Yeah. But it's just, it's the same issues we have. Is there's just
Yeah, it's bad, but that's got to be. That's not a housing issue.
People from, I'm not saying that's a housing issue. I'm just saying people from Ottawa that I told I was going there because I was staying at a hotel downtown. They're like, just don't walk around. I'm like, seriously? Is it that bad? I had no idea. So it's not just Toronto.
No.
Is it an issue? I mean, Vancouver is kind of always had.
But I think it's everywhere now. I think it's just absolute. I feel like that's probably more of an addiction thing more than anything, right? Like the addiction stuff is crazy.
It's just so sad.
It is sad. It is sad that we don't have institutions that can help people, and I think that there's probably, that we know nothing about, but it's something that's beyond. It's most, let's say 95% of the people that are homeless, 99% of the people that are homeless are not homeless because house prices went up. They're homeless because they have addiction. They haven't been able to go to work to pay their rent or whatnot. And house prices going up doesn't help them because the guys are barely holding on. Right.
I was just thinking though, like as I was driving, and obviously there's Canada flags everywhere in Ottawa, right? Like you're downtown, and they had another flag up. I'm blanking now. This is embarrassing. I'm blanking on what country it was, but I think it meant like one of their people was in town, and so they showed. Right. I think that's like a normal thing. I was just thinking, like, Ottawa is the capital of Canada, and you'd think that the downtown where they go, where Parliament is, and everything, you'd want it to be a good experience for people coming in from other areas. But it was kind of like a don't go out at night conversation with everyone. We went out for dinner and I got picked up from the hotel. Like the person I went out for dinner with was like, don't walk over there. It's 10 minutes, but honestly, it's just not worth it. Maybe people from this is, and then by the way, this is downtown Ottawa. This is not, I'm not saying about all the other great pockets of the city. This isn't coming from a place of hate of just that I don't like their hockey team. This is just like, I haven't been to the city in a long time.
To be clear, you don't like their hockey team.
No, of course I don't like their hockey team. But
do you think the Canucks and Maple Leafs will end up both in the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, and they're somehow both going to lose Game 7 to each other. Yeah. It's gonna be the first time it's ever happened in history where neither team wins because everyone just starts fighting everybody and it gets called off and there's no winner and it's just a tie. And then
Gary Bettman comes in and gives the cup to Boston for some reason.
Okay, I'm in a better mood now.
No wonder they don't want to be on our channel, man.
I'm in a better mood now. We should go if you watch,
go home and have a drink.
If you watch this till the end and maybe just go back and start it again when Steve was all emotional at the beginning and his voice was almost cracking because this really hit us. This really hit us.
We did prep.
We did so much prep for this.
We sent a list of questions in advance,
which we never do.
We talked about what we were going to ask and got it all okayed. And then the lawyers step in.
By the way, there are a few people that are friends of ours that we did tell who this person was going to be. Please do not post it in the comments. That's now a conversation that doesn't happen.
We might have to turn comments off to this because this is somebody that we love more than probably anybody on the planet other than our wives. Really helped us out here. And yeah, they're fantastic, and I just want this. I don't want any relationships this hour. This was just disappointing, and how fantastic that person was to come on and then just be like, "Hey guys, I got something to let you know. This ain't gonna work." And
the only reason we're filming this is because we've been here and we wanted to talk today. We had things to talk about, so we just figured like, okay, let's just talk.
Yeah, I just don't want to disappoint anybody listening. Everybody listens. We think you're great. Except for you know who. And
about 10 minutes ago, I think you said something along the lines of idiots comment on our videos, and I want you to. Well, no, take that back. I think people have opinions. It doesn't mean they're idiots, and they can have their opinions, and we love their opinions whether they agree with us or not. We're the idiots to them, and that's okay. That's okay.
I think we need to. I'm going to do this on my main channel too. I think I want to steer hard towards the people that we're helping, right? Because you help, like I help,
just education.
Let's say almost 20 families for the last few years consistently just from this platform. Mm-hmm. And it's like those people are so appreciative. The email, I have an email from one of those people in my inbox right now, actually. The people that we're meeting are so fantastic. And it is spoiled by some people that are probably going through some stuff, projecting their own negative emotions upon people, struggling with the way things are going in the country and not feeling good about it. And we gotta focus on trying to be a place where people feel good about coming. Even if you don't agree with my way of being, I just want to try and get a perspective out there and I'm all about responsibility and taking accountability for yourself. So I think that's probably where we need to guide this show.
I also think we knew going into creating a podcast surrounding real estate in Canada, there was going to be a million opinions. If we made a podcast on like hockey or something, less people would be angry about things. It would be more of less people would probably watch, but
probably.
But all right, let's wrap this. That's okay. You know what? Disappointments are good sometimes in life. It gives you perspective, and we're going to keep working hard to make this show fun for you guys. And this will come out, Steve, as a bonus, I'm guessing. This is not going to be a Sunday.
I'm going to put this out on a Wednesday before the episode normally would have come out.
Okay.
And thankfully, you have called an audible, and next week's guest is, again, someone we love, someone that's amazing. And we got some good ones lined up. Like, we have 7 weeks lined up right now. So
not recorded, but booked guests.
No, not recorded, but the guests are lined up.
Yep.
And we're booking way far out. So it's gonna, onward and upward, my friend.
You know what I'm just the most disappointed about is both of us are gonna have to tell our wives that it didn't happen. And we talked about this before we started. Not once when I go do public speaking or do the news in front of, however many people watch, do I get like are you okay? Are you ready for this one? But for this, we got it. And I just don't want to walk upstairs and be like, it didn't happen.
I got it too. At 12 minutes before recording, I met a beautiful message from my wife talking about how proud she is and all that wonderful stuff. Good luck and all that. But much like the rest of our marriage, I've just completely let her down. So,
and we're going to wrap it right there. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Again, we apologize. We didn't want to hype something up that wasn't going to happen. I promise you it was 100% real. But it is what it is, and we move on, and we will continue to put out episodes that try to educate you, entertain you, and just make you enjoy your day a little bit more. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on Sunday, because today's Wednesday.
Sunday. Love you. Bye.
Bye.